This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Thursday, the 19th day of June in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. Queries surrounding the operationalization of joiner lists were among the primary issues raised today when the Guyana Elections Commission met with representatives of approximately 28 political parties that are hoping to contest the upcoming general and regional elections on the 1st of September. The issue was raised mostly by the small parties that are weighing their options as they prepare for the elections. However, many of their questions appear to have been left unanswered. Shortly after exiting the meeting, Chairman of a new and united Guyana, Dr. Mark France, expressed disappointment that the Elections Commission was unable to provide clarity on the issue. His party had formed part of a joiner list with the Liberty and Justice Party and the New Movement following the 2020 elections, but was unable to occupy the seat in the National Assembly after the TNM candidate, Dr. Asha Kisun, refused to vacate the seat after the agreed time. Dr. France told reporters it was therefore important for the Elections Commission to provide clarity on the operationalization of the list.
With many smaller, newer political parties on the scene, the join the list is an option that may appeal to many, given that it is hard to contest in the general elections, that you must take part in at least six regions that have 13 of the 25 constituencies, that you may have the top-up numbers. So the join the list option is one of the options that small and newer parties are looking to work together to pool your resources, improve your chances at the elections. And if that is something that GECOM has not addressed, and they have not given it any urgency or paid any great mind to it, because this is 2 years later and it's still not.
He said the Elections Commission must clearly indicate how a seat won by joiner parties is filled, whether it is occupied by a single candidate throughout the life of the parliament or whether candidates from the various lists can rotate the seat. Alliance for Change representatives Beverly Alert and Nicole Trotman also expressed disappointment that clarity was not provided on the issue.
The intent of the meeting was to share information ahead of the 2025 elections. Many of the concerns raised, especially by the smaller party, as pertain to especially what happens with joiner lists and specifically identifying the representative in the National Assembly. It is clear that GECOM has not addressed this. They've not put their minds to it. 2 years and counting, and they have not addressed it.
Ms. Alert further stated that it is clear that the Elections Commission is ill-prepared for the elections and should consider requesting that the date be pushed back. According to her, the matter regarding the joiner list is just one of the many issues that GECOM has not addressed.
Absolutely not ready for the elections. They're not. If you have smaller parties that are very interested in joining, and you've had this as a burning issue for over 2 years, and you've come to a briefing and you cannot answer a fundamental question, that tells you the level of preparedness that GECOM has.
Would you call for the elections to be pushed back?
Of course. Of course.
GECOM should do the honorable thing.
GECOM should do what is ready.
And representative of the People's Movement, Nigel London, said it is clear after today's meeting that the Elections Commission is ill-prepared for the elections. He said the parties are walking away with too many unanswered questions.
Speaks to the fact that GECOM is unprepared to hold or conduct the general and regional elections because should there be 28 parties, as you just heard, seeking to have 10 of them, let's say, they want to have a joint arrangement, GECOM cannot at this point say to us that they intend to have this addressed, more so with the legal framework being applied.
But Deputy Chief Election Officer Anil Giddings admitted that the Election Secretariat was unable to provide clarity on the issue on the joiner list, but he assured that the matter will come up at the level of the Commission.
What I promised the parties that asked the questions that at the next statutory meeting of the Commission we will raise it as a matter that needs to be addressed, a matter of concern. At this point in time we don't have the answers. Well, me as part of the Secretariat, I would prefer to be guided by a Commission decision and a Commission directive on this.
According to Mr. Giddings, the Secretariat must await directives from the Commission on the issue. Another issue raised by the parties was that of access to information. Presidential candidate for the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity, Simona Brooms, told reporters that small parties have faced some difficulty accessing credible information regarding the electoral process. She explained that election commissioners often provide the press with conflicting information on major decisions taken by the Elections Commission.
For a movement that is new, we have no access to GECOM information, and in fact, sometimes we don't know what to believe. There are 3 persons from the PPP and 3 persons from the opposition and the CEO that makes up the commission. So, as it relates to us, how do we get information? Oftentimes, when you rely on them to come to the media, the opposition side is saying something, the chair of GECOM is saying something, and so they're all over the place. And I believe that in the best interest of transparency with GECOM and in fairness to all, they should and must have some mechanism in place where we receive reliable information like everybody else.
On that issue, the Deputy Chief Election Officer told reporters that the Secretariat has been actively engaging parties.
On a daily basis, and especially now, I've been interacting with many representatives of many parties, so has the CEO, and I believe that we are doing appropriately, reasonably well in providing information as best we can.
The larger parties, the People's Progressive Party Civic, represented by executive members Anil Nandlal and Zulfikar Mustafa, and the APNU, represented by executive members Carol Smith-Joseph and Riaz Rupnarain, said the meeting was routine and informative. Some smaller parties also expressed satisfaction with the presentation done by the Deputy Chief Election Officer on the issue of nominations, describing it as very informative. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Chasing a ride that takes you higher? Elevate your drive with the all-new Honda Elevate, now at Merrick's. The Honda Elevate has a bold style, cutting-edge technology, sleek and modern interior, and intuitive controls that makes every journey feel elevated and comfortable. So, why wait? Drive a Honda Elevate today. It's brand new, 0 miles, 0 worries. Visit Merrick's, the home of Honda in Guyana, or call 226-1482 to learn more.
Today is the day. Sure, you may not have planned on today being that day, but hey, life comes at you fast. And look at you, you just had a baby. and you switch to digital banking. You're finally buying a new car, and you're about to take her to dinner because today is the day. And with the right advice, planning, and encouragement, you can make all your moves. That's why we're here. Our advisors build relationships that are based on more than banks and banking. They're based on life and living. You can set, track, manage your financial goals on your terms as your life evolves. That's how advice should work. Make your moves with us. Scotiabank. It starts with you.
Welcome back. The Alliance for Change announced last evening that it has formally cancelled the membership of longtime members and opposition MPs Jarita Finance, Sherrod Duncan, and Ricky Ramsarup, in wake of their decision to align themselves with a Partnership for National Unity and serve as APNU candidates for the upcoming elections. It was News Source that first reported on the move by the three AFC members on Wednesday. The Alliance for Change, in a statement late last night, said after taking note of the media reports on the three members, it reached out to them for clarity but received no response. However, the party said it was able to independently verify that the three had indeed moved across to the APNU to serve as candidates for the upcoming elections. The AFC said, guided by its constitution and principles, it considers that the three have chosen to forfeit their membership of the party and have therefore formally cancelled their membership. As News Source reported yesterday, APNU presidential candidate and PNC Reform leader Aubrey Norton has already indicated that Jarita Finance will serve as a prime ministerial candidate for the APNU at the upcoming elections. In social media posts, both Sherrod Duncan and Ricky Ramsarup offered support for the candidacy of Jarita Finance, with Duncan stating separately that his membership in the Alliance for Change is paid up until 2029, and he does not intend to determine his membership before that time. He said he has been working with the coalition partners, the APNU, for the past 10 years, and he intends to further lend his energies to the APNU coalition to win the upcoming elections. Now, one day after three of his party's key members hopscotched their way over to the APNU, the leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, today said it is unlikely that coalition talks between his party and the APNU will continue. The decision by party members Sherrod Duncan, Jarita Finance, and Ricky Ramsarup to add their names to the APNU's list of candidates appears to have caught the AFC by surprise. Within hours of the decision by the three being made public, the AFC announced a cancellation of their membership with the party, as we told you. The party also said its latest proposal to the APNU for a coalition did not find favor with the former coalition partner. Speaking to reporters this afternoon just outside a meeting with GECOM for political parties, Mr. Hughes said the time for negotiations has come to an end.
I don't think it will assist either side to go into what did and did not happen. It hasn't happened, and that time has gone. So I think we're all going to concentrate on the elections. In the case of the Alliance for Change, we are pretty certain that our policies, once presented to the public, they will speak for themselves.
On the issue of three of his senior party members deciding to switch sides and support the list of the APNU, Hughes said the AFC's constitution is clear on the issue of allegiance.
I don't know about a fraction of the AFC. Our constitution is quite clear. You can't pledge allegiance to another political entity while being a member. And so those persons have ceased to be members. So the APNU have three former members of the Alliance for Change.
And the AFC leader also said Finance was never featured in any of the discussions with the APNU to be the prime ministerial candidate. He said those discussions focused mainly on policy and positions.
She never featured at all in the discussions, because the discussions essentially were about principles, policies, other than the presidential candidate, who the APNU insisted be the person the PNC had identified. But it was never about persons or personalities. The only personality was the person who they said must be the presidential candidate.
APNU presidential candidate and PNC reform leader Aubrey Norton on Wednesday said the APNU will be moving forward.
We spent months trying to find a coalition, solutions to a coalition. We went to and fro, and I felt at one stage, well, election date is called, you cannot continue to be kicking the tin cup down the road. And so we have made firm decisions as to how we are moving forward.
Talks between the APNU and the AFC started just over 6 months ago, but crawled along as there could not be any agreement on several issues. In the initial stages of the talks, the AFC demanded a 65% share of seats and positions in a coalition. It was further reduced to 55% after the initial demand was rejected. And by the start of this week, the AFC dropped that demand to 35%. The APNU did not find favor with several other aspects of the latest proposal from the AFC. Guyanese billionaire businessman Azrainid Muhammad has unveiled his party's name for the upcoming elections as We Invest in Nationhood, WIN, and the party will use the face of Guyana's national animal, the jaguar, as its symbol. Muhammad continues his campaigning across the country, and he is confident of doing well at the elections, even as he remains sanctioned by the U.S. government, along with his father and their companies, and Government Permanent Secretary May Thomas. He was also slapped locally with tax evasion charges. Party member Charles Sugrim attended today's meeting with the Guyana Elections Commission on behalf of the party. Sugrim told reporters that the information provided by GECOM was informative, and his party, WIN, is all set to win at the upcoming elections. Since announcing his intention to contest the September 1 elections, Muhammad has been underground campaigning and rounding up names for his list of candidates. News source understands that he has already submitted the party's symbol ahead of the June 22 deadline. In making the announcement to run for office last month, Muhammad said he was ready to put his shoulder to the task and dedicate his mind and heart to building a world-class Guyana, where every citizen is treated equally.
Guyana, it's time to uncap your weekend. Uncapped Marketplace is back Saturday, June 21st and Sunday, June 22nd at the National Stadium. Come shop the best in local sauces, spices, skincare, snacks, craft, and so much more. Meet your favorite agro-processors, discover new products, and walk away with unbeatable deals. Don't miss the excitement, the giveaways, and the reason we say proudly made in Guyana. That's Uncapped Marketplace, June 21st and 22nd. Support local, shop smart, and experience Uncapped.
A nation united for one powerful night of praise and worship. It's the One Guyana Worship Experience. Monday, July 7th, CARICOM Day at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence, starting from 6 p.m. Join us for an unforgettable evening featuring international award-winning gospel ministers Chandler Moore, Todd Dulaney, Samuel Midas, Renwick Dewsbury. Out of Jamaica, the viral sensation, Prince Saj, also ministering, Faith Kurika, Cheryl Maloney, Timothy Roberts, Apostle Sean Sobers, Miriam Williams, Joshua Joe, and many more. The One Guyana Worship Experience, Monday, July 7th at the National Stadium. Admission is absolutely free, but you must secure your passes through your local churches, online, and designated outlets across the country. One nation, one people, one worship. The One Guyana Worship Experience. Don't miss it.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing June 16, 2025 to produce an official list of electors for the conduct of general and regional elections. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors in all registration divisions for you to check if you are listed listed and if your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed on the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. You must visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Friday, June 20, 2025. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, SR Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Meadows, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D,
Timothy Roberts,
and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m. Showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Starbrook Market.
General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Civic Vice President Bharat Jagdeo, today dismissed the emerging parties that are now throwing their hats in the ring for the upcoming elections. At his weekly press conference, Mr. Jagdeo said together, all of the opposition parties are no match for the PPP and the President Irfaan Ali and Prime Minister Mark Phillips, especially when it comes to competence and experience. Jagdeo said voters must carefully examine the various political candidates contesting the upcoming elections. He said the APNU's ticket of Aubrey Norton and Jarita Finance has no real governance experience. The PPP General Secretary said his party is not worried about any of the other parties in the race. He said the Guyanese people have seen his party's track record of delivering, and he is confident that it will get another mandate to govern.
So you just contrast that and think about entrusting the future of Guyana at this time in the hands of that group versus Irfaan Ali, Mark Phillips ticket supported by a party that has kept its promise to the people, always kept its promise to the people.
Mr. Jagdeo said none of the opposing parties have articulated any clear plan for Guyana and are still finding their way around. He said the PPP will soon outline its vision in its manifesto and will be running on its record in office. Jagdeo also announced that public consultations will be held for additional inputs from Guyanese for the manifesto.
So, apart from no skill or competency, they're not trustworthy because they plan not to implement anything, and this feeble attempt to come up with a program that they would call manifesto has been really that, not just feeble, but dishonest. It's dishonest.
And the General Secretary of the PPP also rejected calls for President Irfan Ali to be part of a presidential debate with other candidates, saying that such a debate would be a waste of time, since, according to him, the PPP is more interested in delivering rather than scoring points. Still in the world of politics, in the wake of the exit of a number of key party members in the past few weeks, Opposition Chief Whip in the National Assembly and longtime PNC Reform member Christopher Jones has issued a call for the party to be united as it forges ahead as part of the APNU for the upcoming elections. The PNC Reform is the largest party in the APNU, a partnership for national unity. In a statement this afternoon, Mr. Jones said the People's National Congress remains a political party for all seasons and a national institution. He said while the party continues to face some challenges as a national institution, its existence and purpose cannot be extinguished overnight. He said there will be low points in the history of the party, but there will be trials and there will be triumphs. The party, he said, will always rebound and survive. Jones said the PNC will continue to lead and fight for the Guyanese people and provide the hope that is needed when all may seem lost. He said as part of the APNU alliance that they will muster the strength to rally the masses for the upcoming elections. The statement by Christopher Jones appeared to indicate his ongoing support for the PNC Reform and the APNU at the upcoming elections. He is expected to serve as a candidate for the APNU at the elections and also play a key role in its election campaign. Vice President Jagdeo today said the more than 700 contracts totaling more than $10 billion handed out to small contractors in Linden recently is to serve as empowerment and should not be seen as any bribery ahead of the elections. The Vice President and the Works Minister Juan Edgil met recently with residents of Region 10 for what the Vice President described as fruitful discussions. Linden is a traditional stronghold of the opposition PNC Reform. Mr. Jagdeo said in addition to handing out contracts, it was important for his party's message of inclusivity to be shared, even at the government event.
They're largely to meet with various groups, but not just to meet with contractors, as some people believe. And we're not embarrassed about meeting with contractors, and we're not embarrassed about talking about what we have done for people. It's not social bribery, because what we've done in Linden now, as we approach the elections, we have done in almost all of the previous years since we've been in our office.
The Vice President said he believes that Lindeners are more receptive to the PPP. In fact, he said his government has been investing heavily in the town, recalling that a further $7 billion was invested in the community for community roads and various projects.
And we're not doing a favor for the people there. We've just changed the system to empower small people and to give them an opportunity to implement programs that hitherto would have been done by a single individual. And that's why we changed the system where contracts below $15 million for the road program are allocated on the basis of rates and not through a bidding system.
The Vice President defended the handing out of big multi-billion-dollar contracts to small contractors. He said the aim of the government is to bring relief and benefits to the people.
But that's $10 billion in the pockets of the people of that region. That in a single year, only for under one initiative under this government. And as I said before, this is not because it's election year. This has happened in previous years too.
Jagdeo also said his party's support base has grown in Linden. He said activists from his party are excited to hit the ground and campaign across the community. Traffic Chief Senior Superintendent Mahendra Singh is once again warning about the illegal use of sirens and emergency lights by non-emergency vehicles. And he's also reminding citizens tonight that it is unlawful and dangerous not to give way to emergency vehicles. In an interview, the traffic chief said in the past, the Guyana Police Force, through its traffic department, has clearly outlined the entities and individuals authorized to use sirens. Today, he said it is taking a step further by providing guidance to citizens. In an advisory, the traffic department reminded all motorists that it is unlawful to fail to give way to emergency vehicles, those of the Guyana Fire Service, the police, and ambulance services, when they are responding to emergencies and operating with those sirens and warning lights. He said it is important to heed to emergency vehicles.
To yield and to come to a full stop. Not to continue, not to follow, not to fail to give way. In both ways you will be charged.
Drivers are legally required to pull over and stop as near as possible to the left side of the road and remain stationary, the traffic chief said, adding that vehicles must remain stationary when an emergency vehicle is approaching, particularly during hours of darkness. He said you should also dip your lights during the nighttime. The traffic chief said his department has also observed a worrying trend of drivers deliberately following closely behind emergency vehicles in an attempt to get through traffic.
Siren users, as lawful and authorized it is, you must recognize the volumes of traffic that you are breaching and or separating or disaggregating to get way. And when you do so, what you're actually doing is putting congestion on notice that you must be congested. Why? Just to give way to one vehicle.
He said in the case of emergency vehicles, the laws are clear and motorists must take heed.
Where the emergency is concerned, we cannot overlook that. But to the benefit of the public, I want the public to understand that rather you being charged, take the necessary actions to comply with the law rather than not being compliant.
The traffic department has warned that motorists are endangering road safety, interfering with emergency response efforts, and violating road traffic laws when they do not give way to emergency vehicles.
Your charge more or less than placed before the court is not ticketable. So when you arrive at the court, the discretion is at the magisterial level and not ours. And be mindful that whatever is punitive is not the extent that the police want to see. The higher the fine, the greater you feel the burden. The fact that you are charged, your records are affected. So we want to encourage you to be voluntarily compliant and not necessarily to be forced compliant.
And drivers are also being urged to remain alert on the roadways.
You've asked for it, and it's here. Ronald Hollingsworth still find a place in Guyana too. The Spanish baby.
That's it! You come and shut this baby up, yeah? This is creepy baby you got here, y'all.
See, ever since this baby born, you ain't take over, feeder, or nothing. What kind of father is you?
It's Godfather. This is what kind of father I be.
June 28 and 29, 8 p.m. at the National Cultural Center.
The baby can never be me own. You got to take the baby and turn to the father.
Tickets $3,000 and $2,500. Directed by Sharon Cadogan Taylor and Ronald Hollingsworth. Till I find a place in Guyana too. The Spanish baby.
Sponsored by Sylvie's Industrial Solutions, Camley's Academy, and the Ministry of Natural Resources.
Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men, but early detection can save lives. So, who needs to be screened? If you're 50 or older, it's time to talk to your doctor about screening. But some men need to start even earlier. Your risk is higher if you have a family history of prostate cancer. Screening may be recommended as early as 40 years. Screening is quick and can include a PSA blood test or a simple exam. It's the first step in catching prostate cancer early, when it's most treatable. Don't wait. If you're at risk, get screened. Because taking care of your health means being there for the moments that matter most. Screen early, live fully.
When the night has come and the land is dark.
Somebody in a happy mood.
Yes, Pujilu, because Ban's birthday coming up and I gonna be present.
Last year your friend them been.
And you won't like that?
If me and you ain't go together this year, things gonna be dark, really dark.
Let's celebrate the band's birthday on Saturday, 28th of June at the National Park with 9 one-man bands and Granny Ivy.
Big birthday!
Early bird tickets for $2,000. Stage front, $5,000. Tickets located at Just Your Size Boutique, Stovetop, White Castle Fish Shop, Fireside Suites, and Team Extra Stabrook Market. Band's birthday 2025, June 28th at the National Park. Gates open from 6 p.m. and free gate upon entry.
Ooh, la, la, la. Let's go dancing.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for days, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice of me drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Oil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Oil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Washington needs to take further action against Venezuelan leader President Nicolas Maduro. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado said, including enforcing sanctions and fighting criminal networks she says are connected to the government. Reuters in a report said Machado was barred from running in the 2024 presidential election, but is the country's most popular opposition figure. Western countries and the opposition say Machado wrongly won last year's election, while Maduro's government says he was re-elected but has not released detailed vote tallies. Machado, who has been in hiding for nearly a year, told Reuters in a Zoom interview late on Tuesday that action is needed urgently and that for the United States, Venezuela is a hemispheric security issue. The 57-year-old industrial engineer, who urged her supporters to boycott recent legislative elections, said Maduro is the head of a criminal enterprise. Machado said the opposition also urged the U.S. government and others in Europe to release information about the criminal networks allegedly connected to Maduro. The United States has sanctioned several individuals in Maduro's government, levied drug trafficking indictments against many high-ranking members of Venezuela's government and military and Maduro himself, among others. Haiti's capital of Port-au-Prince was in the dark yesterday after residents of a nearby town stormed a dam and brought it offline in protest of government inaction over gang violence. Gangs have tightened their grip on Haiti, with a record of 1.3 million people displaced in the past 6 months, according to UN estimates. Local media reported that residents of a town north of Port-au-Prince marched on Tuesday afternoon into the hydroelectric plant, which powers much of the region, and brought it offline. Videos and photos circulating on social media, which Reuters was unable to immediately verify, showed them entering the building. They also reportedly toppled an electric transmission tower. Haiti's transitional government did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The outburst came after authorities and gangs faced off in the town earlier in the day, local media reported, with gangs capturing a security vehicle and setting it on fire. This would be the second time residents forcibly shuttered the hydroelectric plant in recent months. Haitians are growing increasingly frustrated with the government as the Transition Council fails to deliver on promises to stabilize the nation, which has been without a president since 2021. And finally tonight, international news. Israel bombed nuclear targets in Iran on Thursday, and Iranian missiles hit an Israeli hospital overnight as the week-old air war escalated with no sign of an off-ramp, according to Reuters. Following the strike that damaged the Soroka Medical Center in Israel's southern city of Beersheba, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Tehran's tyrants would pay the full price. Defense Minister Israel Katz said the military had been instructed to intensify strikes on strategic-related targets in Tehran in order to eliminate the threat to Israel and destabilize the regime. Israel's sweeping campaign of airstrikes aimed to do more than destroy Iran's nuclear and missile capabilities. It seeks to shatter the foundations of Iran's government and leave it near collapse, Israeli, Western, and regional officials said. Netanyahu wants Iran weakened enough to be forced into fundamental concessions on permanently abandoning its nuclear enrichment, its ballistic missile program, and its support for militant groups across the region, the sources said. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.